At just 20 years old, Sophie Rain has reportedly raked in over $43 million during her first year on OnlyFans. But with that jaw-dropping success has come a tidal wave of public reaction. From waitressing tables to owning luxury cars, Sophie's transformation has stirred up both praise and fierce backlash. So, is her rapid rise something worth celebrating? Or is it a warning sign of a bigger cultural shift around fame, morality, and the adult content industry? Today, we're diving deep into the numbers, the outrage, and the story behind Sophie Rain's viral success. Let's unpack the storm she's created. Sophie Rain's financial success. Sophie's journey is nothing short of meteoric. After getting fired from her waitressing job, she teamed up with her sister and took a bold leap into OnlyFans. The result? A staggering $43 million in her very first year. But it wasn't just about posting pictures. Sophie built her empire on personal engagement. She crafted a brand around connection, offering direct messages, customized videos, and exclusive content that resonated with her growing fan base. She claims she doesn't perform explicit sexual acts, which makes her earnings even more remarkable. In fact, one dedicated fan, known only as Charles, is said to have tipped her nearly $5 million on his own. With that kind of income, Sophie's indulging in a lavish lifestyle. She recently purchased a 2024 Porsche GT3 RS and is planning to buy her parents their first home. Not bad for someone who was barely making minimum wage a year ago. Public backlash and criticism. Despite her financial win, Sophie's not exactly basking in universal praise. Her rise has been met with intense criticism. Some people call her earnings obscene, arguing that the type of content she produces promotes damaging ideals. The biggest concern? Influence. With millions of followers, many of them young, critics argue that Sophie is helping to normalize adult content in a way that could skew how teens and young adults view relationships, money, and personal worth. Parents have especially spoken out, worried that influencers like Sophie glamorize a path that's more controversial than commendable. Sophie, however, draws a hard line. She says she doesn't do anything that crosses her personal boundaries. She doesn't perform explicit sex acts on camera. What she does, she says, is on her own terms and fully within her comfort zone. Sophie Rain's response. Sophie hasn't shied away from the backlash. In fact, she embraces it. She said in interviews that negative comments only motivate her more. Instead of backing down, she's doubling down, determined to prove she can be wildly successful while staying true to her own rules. As for the guilt, she says she doesn't feel any. Sophie believes her success doesn't conflict with her values, specifically her Christian faith. In her words, the Lord's very forgiving, and she sees what she's doing as part of her larger purpose. Her family's also made a complete 180. Initially uncomfortable with her career path, they're now some of her biggest supporters. And with Sophie using her income to support her loved ones, including helping them financially, it's easy to see why. She's also been vocal about showing gratitude, publicly thanking the people who helped her build her brand and using her platform to give back. The broader impact. But Sophie's story is about more than just one influencer. It's a glimpse into a cultural shift. Platforms like OnlyFans have redefined how content creators monetize their influence, and Sophie is now one of the poster figures for that movement. Her massive success has reignited an ongoing debate. Is this new creator economy empowering people, or is it warping societal values? Supporters see her as a prime example of financial independence. She built her business, set her own limits, and made millions without doing anything she wasn't comfortable with. To them, she's not just an influencer, she's a savvy entrepreneur. But critics aren't buying it. They argue that her popularity fuels unrealistic expectations and feeds a culture obsessed with shortcuts to fame. They worry that platforms like OnlyFans are encouraging younger generations to equate self-worth with online attention. In that light, Sophie becomes a symbol of a much larger debate. Is this the future of fame, or a slippery slope? Sophie Rain's rise is proof that in today's digital world, fame and fortune can come fast, but they don't come without controversy. Her story is as much about money as it is about morals, influence, and the new rules of internet. Celebrity. Whether you see her as an icon of empowerment or a sign of what's going wrong, one thing's certain: she's not going away anytime soon. So what's your take? Is Sophie Rain's success something to applaud, or does it reveal a darker side of digital culture? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. See you soon.